Stop paying for makeup classes, guys. It's 2024. So in today's video, you're gonna get step-by-step tutorial on how you can transform your clients with affordable makeup products. So let's get started. So guys, I started by wiping our face with baby wipes. Any baby wipes you do. I don't really like using makeup wipes because some people's skin can react to it. So yeah, baby wipes. So I proceeded to carve in our brows with my tiger blade and mascara wand. Don't mind my wand, I just prefer to use it than the regular ones. So always brush up and brush down your brows just to take off the excesses. We don't need to like reduce the size of the brows. The fuller the hair, the better the outcome of the brows. So guys, I'm applying my Rimmel London primer now. It's called Stay Matte as well. Yeah. So, and then now I proceeded to my foundation. I'm using V Beauty Ebony shade. I'm using my brush first to apply the foundation, then I'll go in with my beauty blender. So now I'm blending with my beauty blender, my wet beauty blender. Note that your beauty blender has to be wet before start using it for the foundation. It's just better that way. In case it is you can blend it properly. Then I'm contouring with 2 shades darker concealer. It's just something small. I'm not really doing heavy contour. So yes, I'm using the same beauty blender to blend the contour. As you can see, I also applied on the nose to get my pointing looking nose. So now I'm applying the blush. I'm using my blush, my lip palette for blush because I don't have a liquid blush. So I'm using my lip palette. You can use anything that works for you. You can decide not to use liquid blush or lip stain or something and just use your powder blush, but that will be at the end of the makeup. You can apply a powder blush on wet face when you've already applied your foundation. So note that. Then I added it on the nose. Now I'm highlighting with my Debilosa 06 concealer. I'm applying it directly under her eyes. Note it has to be directly under her eyes. But make sure it doesn't get into her eyes. You don't want your makeup to get into your eyes. Trust me. I'm using my blending brush first to get the concealer right into the skin. Of course, I'm going to use my beauty blender as well. If you don't have a blending brush, you can use your beauty blender. Just use it directly. It doesn't really matter. But I just prefer to blend with the blending brush first before using my beauty blender because I want it to sink into the skin. I don't want patches and yeah, and the lines that comes under your eyes when you highlight. I don't like it at all. So I try as much as possible to get the concealer right into the skin. And I'm using my beauty blender to blend it in. The same beauty blender. And the reason I'm using the same beauty blender is because I want it to tone down the shade of the concealer. You note that, the concealer is a bit light, it's intentional. So if I'm using the same beauty blender that already has a shade of foundation, it's more like you are diluting it. So it will tone the concealer down and then you will get what you want. If you don't have all the shades of concealer or powder, you can work your way around it. For me, I can get like 4 or 5 shades of skin, 4 or 5 shades out of like 3 concealers. So now I'm applying I'm blending the concealer into the T-zone. I applied it on her forehead and on her nose ring. So it's called the T-zone. Using my brush, like I said earlier, I'm going to use my beauty blender as well. So it's just to make it get into the skin. I feel like the outcome is better when you use your brush first and before you beauty blender. There are sometimes I just use my beauty blender directly, and there are sometimes I just use my brush on our jaw as well. Just little. Doesn't have to be a lot. Using my brush. For the zones I'm putting the what's it called, the concealer. Those are the only places you have to put your concealer when you're highlighting. Nowhere else. And then I use a dark concealer again because in process of blending the concealer that I applied on the nose that's spread. So I need to get back to my pointy look. Yes, so the reason I'm doing this is because, she has looked down. Like I said, I don't like patches under my eyes. I always try to prevent it as much as I can. So now I'm applying a shade lighter powder under our eyes because always tell your clients to look up, even if you're the one doing it for yourself. Always look up before you apply powder because if you don't, you will see the patches, the lines, and most of us don't like that. So you can see that I'm still using my beauty blender. I told her to look up before applying the powder because it's better. It keeps your concealer, your highlighted part, it keeps it dry and smooth as well. You don't want patches again. The same thing on the T-zone. I'm applying a shade lighter. So on the highlighted regions, I applied a shade lighter powder, just a shade lighter than something to just set the under eye before applying my setting powder itself. Notice that before applying the shade lighter powder, I use my beauty blender first just to make sure to smoothen it even more, to blend it. So I'm done with the highlighted region. I'm just going to apply a true shade. Using my V Beauty palette powder. I'm just using a true shade on the other part of the face, not letting it get to the highlighted part because I don't want it too dark. Now I'm using a darker shade of powder on the contoured part. Remember that I used concealer when I finished the foundation. So now I'm going in with my setting powder on the highlighted region. The setting powder is, we all know what setting powder is for, so it's just to set the face. I already use a shade lighter powder on it just to dry the dewy look of the concealer. So now I'm applying my setting powder on the highlighted regions. Again, on the highlighted regions, you can decide to apply your setting powder immediately after highlighting. But some setting powder, I don't know, when you apply directly on concealer, it leaves patches. So yeah, this is the Sacha Buttercup anyways. I'm using my triangular puff. If you don't have that, you can use your beauty blender. You don't need to have like everything. Now I'm contouring the nose, just applying a dark shade of powder on the contour part of the nose. You can see my pointy looking nose. Yes, so I applied this setting powder on my palette by the side, like on the side of the nose, just to give me more pointy look. And I think you can see the difference. I'm not applying too much product because it's not like a bridal glam you get, and our face is oily. So on oily skins, you don't want to apply too much product. So now I'm doing my brows. I'm using Carite gel. I don't know if you have color. I think it's just one color. So I'm using Carite gel, brow gel, with the brush that came with it. So when drawing your brows, always start from the like down parts and from the middle. Don't just draw from the beginning to the end. No, start from the middle and take it step by step. You're not drawing. You get, so just start from the middle and then you proceed. And like I said earlier, the more the air, the better the outcome of the brows. So make sure the tip of your brows are tiny. Now I'm shading with the same gel because she's dark skin, so my Carite goes well with her color, with her skin color. Carite is quite dark. Carite brow gel is quite dark, so I don't really use it for light skin clients. It's mostly for dark clients. I'm still like shading, more like stroking anyways, because I want it to look natural. I'm not just painting. I'm trying to get it to look as natural as it can. So exactly what you did on the right side is what you will do on the left. Like I said, you start from the middle, from the bottom of course, and then from the middle. Don't just draw from the beginning of the brows to the end. You're not really going to get something nice. Well, maybe for those that know how to draw, but for me, that's how I do it. And then you do the top before you start shading and stroking the brows. And another thing is when I'm drawing my client's brows or models, I like to go with their brow shape. I don't really like to change it. I don't want it bigger or smaller. I just want something natural. What they already have is what I want. I don't want it bigger or smaller or tinier or even thicker. No, I just want to go with the flow of the natural brows. Except they don't have it. So there are some clients that would have done permanent brows. This permanent brows. We see people do it now. So you can follow that. But if they have if their brows are full, I think you just need to go on with that. So I'm using concealer, the same shade I used to highlight to highlight the brows now. I mean the same shade I used for the highlighted regions. But then the difference is I mixed it with a true shade of concealer. I still have some of it at the back of my palm, so I just use it. And that makes it look a bit more natural as well. I don't want it as bright as the highlighted regions, so I had to mix it with her skin shade. So like I said earlier, you don't need to have all the colors before you can get what you want. You don't need to break the bank before you can look good. So whatever you have is what you can work with. And my channel, I'm going to be teaching us a lot of that. How to use what you have in your makeup kit to look good. You don't need too much. You don't need to have as much product as we makeup artists have. And also for beginners, you don't need to have so much yet before you can make your clients look good or fine. So I'm blending with that same blending brush I used for the highlighted regions. If you remember, that's what I'm using. And now I proceeded to drying the concealer with my V Beauty shade, with my V Beauty palette rather, a shade lighter as well. You can see how natural and flawless it is looking. So another tip, guys, when you highlight your brows, and like I said, this is beginner friendly. When you highlight your brows and then you use your powder, you might get some patches on the brows. Don't fret, just go on with the same pencil or brush, the gel that you used. Just line it out and you are good. You'll get that sharp shaped brows that you want. So I'm done with the brows. You can see how natural and flawless it is looking. So now I'm using my Flawless IV this eyeshadow primer. Using my hand, I just prepare it. So you can use our brushes for those of us that have long nails. Yeah, so I'm just blending the primer into the crease. So yeah, I'm done applying the primer, the eyeshadow primer. So I'm gonna go in with my eyeshadow. Honestly, I didn't know what I wanted to do at this point, but I just thought I just knew I was gonna do something. She's just a model; she was not going anywhere. So yeah, and this I just did this look for a tutorial. So guys, I'm applying brown on the crease. I think I mixed it with a little bit of wine, the crease. So just for it to look natural when I eventually apply the eyeshadow on the eyelid. So you can see that I'm blending it into the primer as well as into the concealer. So yeah, I'm done applying the brown eyeshadow. It's just for some transition, just to blend between the eyeshadow itself and the brows. So now I'm blending with a powder, a shade lighter powder, blending under the eyebrows, just between the eyebrows and the eyeshadow. As you can see, everything is just to look natural. Honestly, everything I do here is just for it to look natural and good. So I'm done with that part. So I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be applying eyeshadow, or an orange color eyeshadow, on the eyelid. Like I said, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I just knew I was going to do something. Then I'm applying the eyeshadow on the eyelid, sweeping it into the crease for it to look well blended. Sweeping it into the crease. And another reason for the brown is just for you to tone down whatever color that you use on the eyelid. Because like the orange, if I just leave the orange like that without the brown, without blending it, it won't look good. So I needed to use that brown to blend it out properly. So I'm done with the eyeshadow now. No glitters, no pigment. So I just hope you guys like it. Yeah, so I'm blending the whole face now using a shade of powder. So I didn't even need to dust out the Sacha powder because it already sat into our skin. So yeah, Sacha powder is very nice. I'm just applying powder all over the face. Nothing too much though, it's just little. She already has an oily skin, there's no point applying too much product. So I went in with my powder, with my blush palette, my blush palette peach. Yeah, I think that's peach. Just a little, match it a little. And I blended it into the contoured parts. So guys, I'm doing an eyeliner now. I'm using the same carrot gel I used on the brown, but the black color. It's very good. It's my go-to eyeliner. I'm using a very tiny brush. You can use an angle brush if you don't have this one. That works perfectly as well. I use it under top. You have to be careful when drawing your eyeliner, especially with this carrot gel, because when it stains it, honestly, it's always so difficult to get it off. And it just changes the entire look. You can even get tired in the process.
Our hearts beat to the city
You can see that the eyeshadow is popping more now than light eyeliner. Yeah. So now I moved on to the eyelashes. I'm using Mega Impact mascara. It has very good volume. It's very good and it's affordable. Know that you must always use mascara before sticking your false lashes. It makes it look better and more natural. I applied classic glue on the eyelashes and I left it a few minutes to dry. Then I went in with my Kiss Beauty spray. Very affordable and it's good. It does the work exactly what you want it to do. Yes, I left that face for a few minutes to dry. I didn't need to use my fan because you know that the weather is cold here. Then I'm lining my lips with that same carrot gel, the one I used on the brown. Then I mixed it with a little bit of brown. The brown is not in my palette, just for it to pop a little bit more, for it to look darker. Then I went in with the nude in the palette and I blended it. That was all. I didn't really do much on the lips. I just wanted something natural. That was it. Oh yeah, I applied a little bit of concealer on it, but I think I did that off camera. I didn't know that my phone was not recording. Sorry about that. I need to do more of that, like another tutorial how to use concealer to on your lip. Very nice. So I already applied absolute gloss, absolute gloss, and now I am applying the same orange I used on the eyelid under the eyes. There's no reason for me to do that. I just like it to give me this nice orange look. I just wanted something that will complement the eyeshadow. That was it. And then I'm using my mascara on the under eyelashes. It gives it the volume that it deserves. It's a game changer, honestly. I always like to do it. I don't forget. So yes, guys, I think we are done. Oh, we are not done. I used the Northern Beauty highlighter. You can use a bronzer. You don't need. I don't even know why I use the highlighter, but I think it's nice. So I applied it under the eyebrows, on the cheeks, and on the T-zone. So guys, we've come to the end of this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, and turn on your notification bells. And also get to my comment section to let me know how I did. Thank you guys. See you in my next tutorial. Bye.